Welcome back to Domestic Dad, Cleaning Up the Mess. Today's episode is one of the most emotional and faith-filled conversations we've had on this show. It's about pain, perspective, and the kind of strength that only comes from walking through fire with God beside you. Joining me today is Esmir Ozegovic, a father whose world was turned upside down when his young child was diagnosed with inoperable brain cancer. What followed was a journey no parent is prepared for, one filled with fear, heartbreak, and impossible questions. But through the sorrow, something powerful emerged: faith, community, emotional healing, and even miracles. In this episode, we talk about how childhood trauma can shape us and how becoming a father can crack us wide open in the best and worst ways. Esmir shares about how grief became his teacher, how surrender became his strength, and how even in the valley of death, God's presence never left. If you've ever wondered where God is in your darkest hour, if you've struggled with fear, anger, or grief, this story will move you, because Esmir doesn't just talk about faith. He lives it, even when it hurts. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and lean in. This one will stay with you long after the episode ends. Grab a mop, because today, we're cleaning up the mess. Before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to take a moment to let you guys know that Domestic Dad Project is more than just a podcast. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping fathers navigate sobriety, parenting, and personal growth. Our mission is to provide support, resources, and community for dads who want to break cycles, rebuild lives, and become the men their families need. If you'd like to support our work and help us continue to reach more fathers in need, consider donating at domesticdadproject.com. Every contribution helps us expand our programs and change more lives. So just wanted to thank you guys in advance for being part of this mission. Now, let's get into the episode. Has life gotten off track? Are you looking for some inspiration to be a better dad? People say all the time, I'd die for my kids. Okay. But would you live for them? Actually live? Get yourself healthy? Make better choices? Eliminate distractions? Would you lead them more intentionally? Would you get sober? Take better care of yourself, physically and mentally. You'd only have to die once. Your kids don't need you to die for them. They need you to live. Have you thought about getting sober, but you just didn't know where to start? If so, welcome to the Domestic Dad Podcast, your go-to destination for candid discussions on journeys into sobriety, parenting, and personal growth. I'm Nick Barnett, founder of the Domestic Dad Project. I've been a dad since I was 18 years old. I'm also a trauma survivor, an alcoholic, divorced, happily remarried, hardworking, humbled by life, domestic dad. On this podcast, you'll find interviews with people who have walked that path, including myself, coaches, mentors, and pastors who can help guide you on your journey. You're going to need resources and inspiration. You can find that here. This is the community for you to lean into, so you can start living life as a domestic dad. So let's grab a mop and start cleaning up the mess. Okay. Esmir, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you very much for blessing the Domestic Dad Podcast and coming on. And it's an honor to sit with you, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I always start these podcasts the same way, bro. Mm-hmm. And you know I do.
I've been listening to all your podcasts.
Yeah. So what was childhood like for you, man? Where'd you come from?
Well, a lot of the Bosnians migrated to the Midwest. Probably, I would say, from 95 to like 99.
Yeah.
Did I just stare at this camera here, or do I look at you?
Nope, you're good.
Can you have this one out?
You can just look at me. Yeah, you just look at me.
So yeah, most of the Bosnians came here like 95 through 99. A lot of them moved to the Midwest because the factories around town, they can get jobs right away. Growing up was fun at times and difficult at times. A lot of my good friends grew up on Rainwood, right by Covenant.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we grew up like in a whole like little community of us. I would say growing up was like difficult in the beginning because it was so new, and like back then all the Bosnians kind of stuck together, all the Americans kind of stuck together.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like really like a open space for anybody. Like it developed down the road. Like when we got to high school.
Can I ask what year were you born in?
90.
90. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can remember, dude, because I was one of the American kids at that time.
Yeah. The weird thing for me was like I never like stuck just with like one group because I was always like very like open and like I want to talk to everybody. I didn't care who you were. I'll talk to you. So like I had friends on both sides, but it never like clicked as a whole, I would say, till like middle school, high school, once we all got to know each other. Home life was challenging at times just because because my parents were very focused like on like making money at the time to grow, to keep up the bills because they didn't get many opportunities in the beginning. So I didn't really get like the typical like upbringing where you do stuff with your parents, go do stuff like vacations, trips, going to like the stores, malls, whatever.
Yeah,
it was kind of like a treat. We would do that every so often when I was younger. Obviously, down the road, things improved, and you know, it got better on that aspect. But yeah, we called it Raymond Hood because it had like everybody like from everywhere there, and it was a great time. Honestly, like there was never like a dull moment. Like we played sports all the time together. We hung out till like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night till we knew it was time to go home. Because back then, like you didn't have like, you know, cell phones and all that. So like after school, you would go eat and you go outside for like 5-6 hours just to play with your friends. And when it got dark, the street lights turned on, you knew it was time to go home. Yeah. So that was the fun part of the childhood.
Yeah. So from the outside looking in, like play life was pretty normal with kids. You had a pretty natural.
Home life wasn't like the best thing at the time.
Yeah. Let's get into that a little bit. What happened there?
I think my parents were just focused on like making ends meet and didn't have like much time for me at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
And it kind of never like flourished our relationship, sadly. But that's something I'm going through like a spiritual journey myself right now. And it's all because of my son when he got sick. But it's like it's the worst thing that ever happened to us, but it's the best thing because like now I'm learning how to like knock those walls down and move forward. Because it's like I know it's holding me back almost every day because there's not like a day I don't think about it or wake up and it's in my mind. And I know it's something I gotta like get to eventually, and that's why I'm hoping with this journey that I'm on, like with my religion, is to get strong enough where I'm like prepared to knock those walls down, if you will.
When you talk about it, what do you mean by it?
What do you mean?
You said when I get through it or when I get to it.
When I feel like so like I told you at the beginning, like all the people on your podcast, like they're amazing because like they started at the low and they're like at their peak right now, and you can tell it's because like they found something to believe in and it just like blossomed them.
Yeah.
And I'm not there. I'm like probably like I would say like 30%, and I gotta push myself to like start getting more ahead because like I think the reason I'm not there yet is because I'm nervous to do those next steps.
Yeah.
Because
they're big steps.
They
bro.
are.
They're huge steps.
Yeah. And I don't know, like it's like a weird fear, like something's not even there, but it's like holding you back, you know? And my good friend actually yesterday, his name is Amir. Mm-hmm. And I was like telling him about like how this happened and how like it kind of held me back. And he's like, because I was like, you know, I wish in high school I played sports because I was good at sports, but you know, I wanted to be first one out of there and go home, you know? And he's like, dude, you can't do that. He's like, you're 34 years old now. What's going to happen in 20 years when you're 50? Yeah. He's like, going to say, oh, I wish I did this when I was 34. He's like, just go do it. And then like his mindset's always been like that. Like I envy people that get locked in that mindset.
Yeah.
Because they don't realize that they're like, there's nothing like going to hold them back in any way. Cause they're like, I'm going to do it and see what happens. Like I have a couple of friends who are like that. Like my cousin's like that as well. And like something I strive to get to, but like, I think those people that are at that point in their life, I don't think they realize that they got themselves there by going through the hardships and mentally getting stronger and pushing through because they're so locked in. They don't even realize like that they went through the bad like ages ago.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to get to myself.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. At least you're on the journey, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't find themselves on the journey.
Yeah, I never did before until, you know, went to dark place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So normal childhood from the outside looking in.
Yep.
Inside the house, parents were struggling to make money. Not struggling, but they were just hyper focused on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the main mission.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the main mission. Not so much on you guys.
Yeah, not much as like nurturing or like cherishing the moments when I was little.
Yeah. So when did you move here?
Yeah, I moved here when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I know that there was a war.
Mm-hmm.
Were your parents involved in that?
Yeah, my dad was in the war.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got he got like a grenade blew up like not too close to him, but it knocked them over. And he's got like fragments in his wrist that it burned, and then he's like blind in his right eye from it going in his eye. And he never like, so like that's another weird thing about like those generation of men. They don't really open up or talk about anything, you know?
Well, they've seen some stuff that normal people haven't seen.
Right. Right.
You know?
So like,
and that has when you experience that, and I don't know what it was, but
mm-hmm.
I can only imagine what a war would be like.
Right.
When people are fighting other people over land and religion and things of that nature, it can get pretty gruesome. Mm-hmm. Right. And I would imagine to myself that your dad has probably seen some pretty gruesome stuff that mm-hmm. he doesn't probably want to reflect on or talk about or anything else like that. And that kind of stuff can manifest in your life when you're going to like if you don't deal with it, right?
Yeah.
It can
you get hard.
It's kind of like, I have a very good friend, his name's John Church. And John talks about pressing the beach ball under the water.
Yep.
And anytime that there's like trauma in your life and you try to like suppress it, and anytime that there's shame in your life and you try to suppress it and not deal with it and not talk about it and not like fully process it, that eventually that ball is going to come up. And when it does, it's going to splash all over other people.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And typically when trauma is involved, that's a much bigger splash.
Yep.
When it comes out.
It's an explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how my dad used to be a lot when I was younger, but he's like day and night compared to what he was. But like the only story he ever told me about that war thing is like he said the grenade blew up and it flipped him over, and he said he didn't like move for a few days because he doesn't know if he was either like paralyzed or just like his body was in fear and shock. But he said in a couple of days like he was able to move and he got out of there. But it definitely definitely when we first moved to America, he was definitely like more like closed up about everything and anything. And now he's like starting to like open up. But so like we never like developed the greatest relationship.
Yeah.
So it's never like, it's like always like not a smooth transition between me and him.
Yeah.
Because like we don't know how to like vibe with each other yet.
You got stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got friction and stuff that's kind of like stopping you guys from getting into the groove.
And I know my dad like means well and wants to do well, but I don't think he knows how to necessarily open up with me. And like I don't know how to do that with him neither.
Dude, most dads don't, you know. And again, like going back to like, you know, he only knows one way to deal with a problem. And that's to just keep it inside, bottle it up, press it under the water.
Yeah, he's good at the next day it never happened. Everything's good.
Yeah.
That's what
like, do you want to talk about this? Or are we just going to pretend that didn't happen and move forward?
Right. That's how my childhood was on certain events. And I was like, and the weird thing is like, I became that way too. Like, when I got married and stuff, I like saw that, but I never like worked on it until like recently. But it's so weird. So like I started going to therapy like a few months ago, and I always like thought that was like the weakest thing a man can do, you know? Because I'm like, I'm not that. I'm not gonna do that crap. But yeah, when I went to therapy, like, holy crap, it like blew my mind. Like how, like it's almost like healing your brain and your mind at the same time, like of a trauma of an event, to like decompress that. Because I never opened it up and got rid of those feelings. There was in me. So like now, I noticed my communication with my wife is like 100 times better because like now I know how to like actually interact like during like a tension moment, or if she's mad, sad, like I know how to like step up and be there, you know. Before I just like kind of ignored it or didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Same thing my dad did. Like the next day, oh, it's rainbows and butterflies, you know.
Yeah.
It's like no.
there's a verse in the book of James in the New Testament of the Bible, and I think it's First James 19, and he talks about this idea of quick, slow. Be quick to listen, slow to get angry, and slow to respond.
Yeah, that's good. That's hard. That's hard. Like I'm getting there, but that's like, yeah.
But if you can remember those if you can quick, slow every point of every point of contention in your life, dude, you could. There's a lot of ways to like move forward in conflict that way.
You know actually, I just saw a video yesterday on Instagram, and it was this guy with his granddaughter, and he's like, she comes up to me, she wants something, she's like whining and crying about it. I tell her, hey, come back in 30 seconds and ask again. And she goes away, comes back. She's like, can I please have this? And I'm like, that's kind of like genius way of doing. Cause like my kids, like they're 7, 5, and 3, and they're all like whiny when they want something. So I'm like, me and Becca actually talked about it today. We're like, we should try that. Like send them to the room for 30 seconds, come back again.
Yeah.
Cause like just to get rid of that energy and come back and like talk normal.
Yeah, that's good.
So
yeah, that's good. Yeah. So when you got married, like, when did you guys have kids? How did you get? Did you have kids before marriage or like post marriage?
In between.
In between.
Daughter.
Okay. All right.
We kind of. She got pregnant, had a miscarriage, and that was kind of a hard time for her. And that's like another thing I totally fumbled because I didn't know how to like react or handle that. Bro. But I realized like a few weeks later, like I didn't step up properly. So like that's even on my mind like to this day. So I try to make up for it in any way I can, but I don't know if I ever will, honestly, because I handled it horribly. Yeah,
there are, and that a lot of people talk about shame and things like that as you look back at your life and you say, well, I didn't handle that well and I didn't handle that well, but you have to give yourself grace because you didn't completely understand the situation. Yeah. When it comes to those types of emotional things, I mean, us young men, we don't get it.
No.
We don't get it.
I did after the fact, obviously, and then you feel like, dang,
I
should have been there, but in a better way.
Well, she knows, man.
She does now, but like, it still bugs me. But we'll make up with good memories on the road with that.
Yeah. So when did you guys get married?
March 23rd, and I'm bad with the year.
That's all right. Me too.
We've been married 8 years, so what was it? 2025, 2018.
If my family email address wasn't like the Barnett family, and then the year that we got married, I would totally forget. But that is like that's an email that we use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's smart.
Yeah. No, man. And how many kids do you have?
3. There's 7, 5, and 2. Amelia's my oldest. Luca's the middle child, and then Jack's the baby.
Yeah. So talk to me about how being raised the way that you were. Mm-hmm. What did that, and we kind of talked about like some of that family of origin stuff, and you admitted that some of that behavior that came from your dad kind of, you took that those same type of problem solving things with you. Yeah. That's the tool bag that you were given, right? Like that's here's the tools that you use. I think like that's what they model for you, and they show you what tools to use. So when you get angry, blow up, right? When you get angry or when things don't go your way, be explosive.
Right. That's like the worst thing. I always knew it was the worst thing to do because you always overdo it by saying stupid things. And then whatever the conversation might have been about, it does not even matter no more because now it's stuck on how you reacted because I reacted so idiotic.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, bro. If I could run the tape back for you on some of the things
see that.
Oh man, I think I would just go stick my head in a hole somewhere. Like, you idiot.
Can't hear nothing or see nothing.
Yeah. I don't want to know.
No.
There's so, and to your point, like, and I can share this with you because, my dad was explosive as well in the way that he responded to conflict and things like that. There were times where he just blew a gasket, you know what I mean? And I can't tell you one specific time, but I've got several memories of that happening. And so that's kind of something that was ingrained in me. So when in my early adulthood, and I'm talking like 18 to, 30, you know what I mean? Anytime that like conflict presented itself, my natural reaction was to do what the man in my life, my father, had taught me how to do, which was explode. Get angry, like flex, let Hulk come out somehow. You know what I mean? And it was, and it always came out in this like, like, are you serious right now? Like, if I could wind the tape back and play it for you, it would be like, this is going to be one of those moments that you're going to regret. Right. You know, you're going to say things, you're going to do things, you're going to like stick your chest out when you have nothing to be sticking your chest out about.
Right. And you never actually want to like relive or see that, because you even knew at the time, like, it was the dumbest reaction, but it was just so like natural. That was the issue for me, honestly.
And I'm sitting here chuckling about like some of this stuff, and we can smile and laugh at ourselves, because when we're idiots, we can call ourselves idiots. But sometimes those reactions hurt other people.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
You know, and I think for me, that's where a lot of like the shame comes from. You know what I mean? Like some of the stuff that I still, I don't know if I struggle with it anymore, but like if I could go back and relive it, it's like those are the moments where you're kind of like the palm just goes into the hands. You know, it's just like, oh.
Yeah. Like I always tell you, like I'm naturally like a blunt person, and like when I met you first, I did not like you at all.
No,
because I could tell like this phony like guy. Like I didn't feel like you were like yourself.
Yeah.
And then like you started this podcast thing, and I started watching it and listening to it, and I'm like, he's just doing this for like show or like to get attention. And then like first episode, I'm like, dang, that was pretty good. Second episode, like I can tell like you're not that guy at all, and like it's like your passion is like through the roof. So you know it's like not an act.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's why I told you, like, I'm like, dude, like you're like a whole different person now. It's like way amazing. That's why that's like where I got like my like excitement to do my part too. Cause like, why wouldn't I, you know, like you're only gonna get better in everything else in life, especially with like family life. Cause like, that's like, so like for a long time I struggled like taking pictures of my own family. Cause like we're growing up, it never felt like real. Felt like it was like more for like a to post, you know, online. It was never like, I never felt that love or like that, like, hey, let's actually take a picture together, you know? So like for a while there, it was hard for me to even do it with my own kids and my wife. But like now, like that's something I always like make sure I'm taking pictures. What do we do? Cause like Becca's like always doing stuff with the kids when we go places. So like my job I learned is to take those pictures. Yeah.
You're the Instagram dad.
Yep.
And at some point we all have to embrace that.
Yep. Because every time I missed opportunity, she's like, great, you did taking pictures. I'm like, oh yeah. Well, that's my job. So I've been doing really well on that actually. But yeah, it's like the little things that add up down the road. Like, cause like, you know, you want to see those pictures in like 5-10 years because they're beautiful moments. Like the kids are little. They're not going to stay little forever.
You're not going to, dude, that's your real family. That's not a pretend family that you're just the photographer for.
Right.
Those are whatever you have in terms of like picture memories is what you're going to have 50 years down the road.
Yeah.
When they're grown up and have families of their own, you're going to be like, these are the Polaroid books.
And I can show those off to my grandkids down the road and make fun of it and joke with them. So,
yeah, man. No, that was you talk about, me not liking me very much. I didn't know you didn't like me when we worked together at that agency, but
you didn't feel like you were like yourself.
But I will say when I got and you're right, I wasn't. I was completely posturing. I was inauthentic. I was trying to be something that I wasn't, and to be completely honest with you, Esmir, that I never really wanted to be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If we really align passion and purpose, that's not something that I like truly wanted to be. And it created a lot of issues for me. But going back to when you hit me up on Messenger, you're like, "Hey, I've been watching this, and I got to tell you, I used to not like you." And I was like, I looked at my phone for a couple minutes, and I was like, okay.
I've always been like, I don't ever mean it like in a bad way, but like
no. But to your point, you're blunt and you're straightforward, and I appreciate. I love that about you. Yeah. I love that. And
I want the same thing for myself because like I got flaws too. So like I don't know. I like hearing that stuff because that's something I can work on.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So getting back to your story. So you got married. What? I'm not.
2018.
Okay, 2018. Yeah, I was married only a year before. What month?
March.
Okay. Yeah. I was an October marriage.
Yeah.
So so not really that far apart. I was October of 17 and you were March of 18.
Yeah. So I had a crush on my wife since like I can remember, you know, and
she was the one.
Yeah. I didn't know she was one. Just like she was beautiful and she was funny. And I just like always liked her as a little kid. Like I probably knew of her like in middle school. She had a relationship, some guy for like 10 plus years.
Some knucklehead.
Yeah, and he messed it up, and I was like, heck yeah. And then our good friend Slovadina's like best friends with her.
Yeah.
So I asked Slovadina like if I can get her number, and she gave it to me. And then like slowly like started like texting her, and like in a month's time we went on our first date. And I didn't know this at the time. She told me like a year later when we were like together. But that same night I called my good friend Sandy, and I told him like, hey, like I feel like I want to marry this girl. Like our first date. Like, and I knew it was different because like when we went on that date, like I was myself the whole time. Like I wasn't trying to like show off with my car, the way I dressed, like the way I looked, any of that. I was just like super comfortable, super easy. And I'm like, dude, this is like, I never felt this before on a date ever. So like I knew something was there. And then like a year later, like we were like crazy in love. Like I told her that, and she's like, I told Salvadina the same thing that night. So I was like, wow. So it's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys get married. You probably you were probably pregnant at the time, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Amelia was born in January. Yeah, so probably right after.
Yeah. Good. Had a kid. How was early fatherhood for you?
I'm happy I had a daughter first, to be honest, because like I was like my emotions weren't like the best at the time. Like I was always like closed up, and I didn't want to like ever open up. Like I'd have my blow up moments and like try to ignore it the next day, which was stupid. Because my wife would always tell me like, that's not how you like deal with things or handle that. She's like, that's not normal. But to me, it wasn't normal because that's all I knew. But yeah, having a daughter first was definitely like a blessing because like it made me like feel all these new feelings for like women in general, like the respect value for my wife having to go through giving birth.
Yeah.
Having a daughter, like you just view everything so like differently. Like it was weird. Like if I had a boy first, I'll probably be more like tough guy, but with her, like you just kind of get soft because that's what she does to you. And like, dude, when we drove home from the hospital from Covenant, I'm not even kidding you. I had the hazards on, and I was going 5 miles an hour and we were both crying the whole time.
Precious cargo.
Yeah, dude, it was hilarious because like we laugh at that now because like I was like, why would we even do that? But we were like so like scared to like her to get hurt or anything. So that was like 5 miles down the road, hazards up, cars passing.
That's love.
Yeah, it was. It's a great memory now because it's a good laugh too.
Yeah, that's good. Good, man. Okay, so as like fatherhood progressed for you, what like you guys had more kids?
Yeah, Luca was born a year and a half later, 2 years later, and like it was awesome to get a son, because like as a man you want a boy, and I was super happy and excited, and then like we didn't even plan on having a third kid, to be honest. It just kind of happened, and it's funny. It's like the story to it is hilarious because my good friend David, we usually watch like football at his house or we'll go eat somewhere. So I was trying to call him to see what he wants to do for the weekend, and I asked Becca if she wants to go out to eat dinner. So we're driving, and like David had 3 kids at the time already, and he could not get a word out because they were like being crazy in the background,
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, I'll just text you, man. I got to go. My kids are being crazy right now. I'm like, okay. So I hang up the phone, and the first thing I said, I was like, 3 kids, F that, And then I was like, and then we go to dinner, and she acted kind of weird. Like she wasn't like talkative really. And I was like, I knew something was up.
Yeah.
And then she keeps saying this, that I never said this. That she never said this, but she did. Like we're driving back home, and I love washing my car. I wash my car like once a week. I have like OCD. So I'm 100% sure she said, you want to go to the car wash, but she says she didn't. But one of us said, I guess. And we go in there, and the thing starts working. And the first thing she does, hands me the phone with the picture of the pregnancy test.
Yeah.
And she's like, you said you don't want 3 kids. I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, I thought you were going to be mad about it. And I'm like, no, I'm not mad. I'm like, that's a blessing. Like, I'm not going to.
Let's go.
Yeah. Like, I'm never going to ever be like upset or mad. I was excited.
Yeah.
Because like, you know how like people always say like when they get like 2nd, 3rd, 4th kid or whatever, it's like, oh, that was the missing piece. It literally was. Because like when Jack was born, it like just brought us like another step closer together. Like we had like, one boy and one girl, and we're doing every day. Like it was kind of like a pattern every day almost. And then he came in and kind of disrupted that and like brought us back like even closer. And like, yeah, like I knew Jack was meant to be born. I know he's meant to be part of our lives, and he's got a badass story to tell himself when he gets older now. So it's amazing.
Well, let's Let's get into that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell that story from a father's perspective?
Yeah. So his birthday's December 30th, and like a couple days prior, like Christmas week. Now we look back into the pictures, we can tell there's some like issues with his right arm. But we went to the birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, and he's opened up gifts, and Becca and my mother-in-law were like kind of pointing out that he's not using his right hand, and he's a righty, you know. So we're like kind of concerned, and like well, maybe just pinched or got hurt or something, you know. And then I went on Google when we got home, and like says like there's a nurse's elbow for little kids, like this little bone that pops out for kids that use it too much, and you just like snap it back in, you know. But it's supposed to be super painful when you touch it. So like me and Becca are like touching his arm anywhere, and he's like not reacting at all. And I'm like, dude, like say ow or something, you know? Because I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, what's going on with you?
Yeah, and then like we would give him a remote, and he can like barely pick it up and hold it, and he'll put it in his left hand. And then like the next day, like Becca was really uneasy about it, and so was I. But I was kind of like trying to do the whole wishful thinking, like wish it away, like this is not like a thing, you know, it'll go away. But yeah, she took him to the ER, and they were there like for 4-6 hours, and like I knew right away like it was not good because you go to ER usually it's like an hour or two max, you know, and then you're out. And she like calls me and says they're recommending him to go to Iowa City because they call Iowa City Hospital, and they said send him down there. And then are
you asking questions at this point? Like what is going on?
I just started crying my butt off, dude. Like
yeah.
my like I just lost it. Like I knew it was like something not good. And I called my mother-in-law to bring my 2 other kids over there because I was gonna go follow them down there. And yeah, like when I got to her house, dropped my kids off, she's like, what's going on? And then again, like I just broke again.
Something's going on.
Yeah. I just like it was like the worst feeling I had in my freaking life because like it's weird. I knew right away it was like not good. Like them recommending him to go down there was like scary as hell because they like blood work. All his blood work came back good at Allen Hospital, and like we're so thankful to that doctor over there that she didn't like just say, oh, you know, go to therapy or like go to take him to a family doctor in a couple of days, doesn't go away. Like she like made that read and called them down there and recommended them to see him.
Yeah.
So I think she like saved his life, honestly, because when we first got down there, that second week, his progression like got way, way, way bad. But yeah, when we went down there on January 1st, they said like, hey, it's either like a spinal injury or a brain tumor, and we're like, what do you mean? You know, like, how do you come up with that idea? You know, so they recommended the MRI down there. They did it the next day, and then you know, the whole day was like the longest day ever because we were so like scared and nervous because like we were wishing, like crazy thing is we're wishing it was a spinal injury, which is crazy to even like say out loud. But like the alternative being a brain tumor cancer is like a whole different beast, you know?
Yeah.
And that evening the doctor came back with the results, and she brought a nurse with her, and it was me, Becca, in the room like playing with them, and you know, like, you know, I'm like a fun, jokeful guy, you know, like make tensions like at ease. So like once again I was trying to like, you know, joke it away. So I was like, oh, all right, tell us good news, you know, like that's my mindset about it, you know. And she's like, well, let's leave the nurse here and let's go to the other room and talk. And I was like, damn, like I knew right there was like not good news. So we go to like the little room next door, and she's like it's a tumor, and we're like, what the heck, like where did this come from, you know, because it was like out of nowhere. Becca's like asking them like, are you sure it's like, is it like cancerous for sure or not? And she's like, most likely, yeah, because how big of a mass it was. So just like, yeah, so she was like, most likely it's a tumor because the mass was huge.
Yeah.
And I remember her pulling up the picture on the computer, and I remember Becca sitting down on the couch, and I remember me just pacing back and forth because I'm a pacer. And I get anxious, nervous, scared.
You got to move.
Yeah, I go back and forth. And she popped this picture up and it's like his brain and it's like a huge thing covering half his brain. And like Becca's like, what? Like she kept saying what? And I kept saying, can I cuss?
Yeah.
Like I kept saying, I was like, what the fuck? I said, what the fuck? Probably like 50 times in a row.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck, back and forth. And then she like zooms in and shows the angle and it's like everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And
Yeah.
she's like, that's the tumor. I was like how? And
I cannot imagine like the range of emotions that come with that, because just so like Jackie is the same age as my son Jamie.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Like
they had class together at the daycare.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep.
Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to throw an anchor in there and be like,
Becca pointed out Jamie to us like right away when we went to that drop off. So I knew him right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cute kid.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
He plays that to his advantage too.
They all do.
Yeah, they all do.
Yeah.
Anyways, keep going.
Yeah. I just remember like afterwards, like me and Becca just holding each other and like crying our butts off because like we were so freaking scared. And like the worst part was like he's 2 years old. He has no idea what the hell's going on, So that was really, really hard.
Yeah, he's just vulnerable.
Yeah, he just wants to be a kid, wants to play, wants to have fun. Yeah, I remember like the beginning, the first 2 months, like it was like we call it cry showers, and we went in there and we like bawled our like eyes out, like just the whole day we're holding it in, like being happy for him, like making it fun for him, because we never showed him any of those emotions from like the start. We both like we didn't even talk about it. We just knew like, hey, we're gonna be like his biggest cheerleaders, like knock it out of the park for him, whatever he needs, we're gonna do for him. And like the worst, like not the kind of the worst thing that happened in the beginning was like we got to meet the brain surgeon right away instead of like the cancer doctor.
Yeah.
So he comes in, he's like, I can't touch it. He's like, it's like in an impossible spot. He's like, if I touch it, he'll have multiple strokes, like probably not make it off table. And I was like, what the hell? And he told us that, like, so that like literally shattered us, like in that instant. And then,
dude, how helpless is that?
Dude, it's like,
I know, like I go to the gym every day, and and especially ever like I knew once my daughter was coming that I had to become stronger, right? Like physically stronger. Yeah. Like there's this thing inside
down the road,
like every father's brain that's like, okay, you got to be able to fight for your kid no matter what. But this is something that you are helpless.
Oh yeah,
there's nothing that you can do for them except support them.
Yeah, that's that,
and they're helpless.
Yeah, and like few hours later, like the cancer doctor comes in and he tells us like, hey, if it's something we can treat, he's like, I can handle it, we can treat it. And like we didn't even know that was an option at the time because this guy said this, and like for like 5 hours we were like brains were like scrambling, like what the hell do we do now? Like we're not gonna give up, like there's no way, like we're gonna do something. And then he comes over and like breaks down the plan and like kind of helps us get at ease a little bit. But yeah, I just like I have like a trauma brain from like my whole life basically, but like that whole year at the hospital is like my trauma brain kicked in, and like I just remember like certain points. I don't remember like the full detail no more. Like Becca remembers everything. I don't. But if like I said, I go to therapy now. If I do like EMDR, like it gets me to where I can remember. But all I know is like those first 2 months, like I said, like we literally like showered at night and it was like bawling out there. Sometimes like I'll be in there crying my butt off and the doctor was coming and talk to Becca and like they hear me crying, but it's like that was like almost like my therapy there, because like I was letting all that out for the night, and the next day we would like put on our armor again and go after it again. The cancer that Jack had, we don't really like share the name of it or anything because Google does not have good things about it at all.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it was like a stage 4 right away. So usually, like when you get diagnosed, they give you like a month to prepare, get your things in order. But his, like, they started a week and a half later because it was progressing pretty bad, and we were like kind of nervous about chemo because we had no idea like what that even like does to the body, like long term and all that. But like that following week, he got way worse. Like his walking got kind of like wobbly. His eyes started getting really, really droopy, and like we're like, oh my god, like what is this, And then honestly, like a blessing with the chemo that his body like reacted so good to it. He started chemo, and chemo is like a fucking war. Like it's like you're so fucking helpless to like see
all
it.
of the explosions going around
Yeah,
around
and you
you.
literally like I couldn't do nothing for him when I was in pain. That was probably the hardest thing for me as a dad. Like I couldn't like take his pain away. I couldn't like do nothing. Like that like got me really angry too because like I wish I could have just put it in my body.
Yeah,
But
helpless to help.
Yeah.
You know, like to take care of this person that you like. This is your responsibility as a man, as a father.
And he's like that's 2 freaking years old having to fucking go through that. That was like that still hits me like in a bitter, angry spot, I guess.
Yeah, brother. I can remember when we found out about what was going on with him. And it was a devastating night at the Barnett household. Yeah. It was one of those things, and just giving you some perspective here. Like, and I think a lot of people, when they found out what was going on with Jackie, it was like, you know, you clutch your children, and you're so thankful for them, you know, and because, you know, the diagnosis was not positive in the beginning. It was not at all. Yeah. And I can remember like having so much, like trying to like put myself in your shoes and not being able to comprehend like what that would have looked like if I were in your shoes. I would have lost my mind. Yeah. And I don't know if you lost your mind or not, but if you want to go down that rabbit hole at all, but that's
like I said, like those first 2 months, like it was like I was numb. Like I didn't feel like I was living my life. I was there and I was doing all the things for him, but like I didn't feel like I was there at all, honestly. And the weird, crazy thing is like that brought me like started bringing me closer to God, and I started believing in God. Is like we had that doctor say that we were super scared about the chemo starting. We talked about it. Like I'm very open about anything. So like I don't know how she felt about that, but we talked about it, and she wanted to make a Facebook page because like we wanted prayers, to be honest. That's what we wanted because like I wasn't that big of a believer at the time, but like I was like that's the weird thing was that's the first thing I thought of, you know, even though I wasn't a believer, that's the first thing that came to my mind after I heard those words, and we made that page, and like you know everybody started like praying for him, and like we felt that right away, to be honest. Like you can feel energy. It was weird, and like we're so thankful to like the whole Cedar Valley community because like how much people like helped us and rallied is like insane. I never thought like I would get that or we would get that kind of response from the community, but like holy crap, like everybody like came in like as our like army with us. And like I would never like guess that would have been like me in that situation or my family. So it's like a beautiful thing that we got to like witness and see. And then like I said, like once I started asking for prayers, like he started chemo. Like chemo is weird. Like they don't have like a like science to like, hey, this person's gonna take well to it, this one's not. Luckily enough, like Jackie like took it and like his body had good results right away. The tumor showed shrinkage a month later. They were able to get like a biopsy of it to confirm what they thought it was. And then like during that time, we got to meet a amazing girl, Tatum. And I told Tatum like so many times, like, dude, like you are the reason I like stopped being so scared and like I had hope because she had like this, like she passed away like when she was 17. This past.
How long did you know her for?
We knew her like for what 4 to 8 months while we were down there, basically. But like she just had like she had like this like she was 60 at the time, but she had this energy that brought me and Becca like the same time. We like started getting like peace in like this moment, like because I don't know what it was about her, honestly. Like she made us feel like everything's gonna be okay.
She might have been an angel, bro.
She is now 100%. We know that 100% now. But she like she made all these kids blankets too, like on the floor, which is like kind of crazy because like she ended up passing away, fortunately, and we love her and we miss her like all the time. We talk about her like literally every day in our house. Like we're never gonna let that name die out in our house. Like say that much. But she made all these blankets for all these kids, and like now I think about it, I'm like, she's their angel. She made that for a reason, because like we call it Jackie has it on his bed. We call it Tatum blanket. His Tatum blanket. So he'll always say, "Where's my Tatum blanket?" You know, like that's what he dresses at, and my other two kids call that too. And like we want that because like I said, we're not gonna let her like be forgotten in our house like ever, because she literally like even towards the end, like when Becca went to visit her, like we were FaceTiming and I told her that again, and she's so like she doesn't want to take any of that in, like oh I am that, like she's like no, like you would have done this, you did this because you wanted to, like no, like you literally, like that first month we met her, it was like when I was like literally just felt like blackness around me, you know, like I was in a hole, and like I saw her and like it was energy, that's what it was, like we don't know what it was, we know now that she was an angel for us at that time. And yeah, like I cherished every moment we hung out with her and her mom Shannon and her dad Brad out there. Um, like it's crazy. Like we look forward to like the day she would like walk by, like 'cause she would do walks down the hallway, and Jackie was doing chemo, so we couldn't really leave him, but she would always stop by, and like we would look forward to those moments because it just brought us like happiness. It was weird, like but that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fairly certain that girl was probably sent here to be an angel for you guys, to give you some strength.
Yeah.
Could have been one of her purposes in her life, you know?
I think so. She was so freaking like pure, loving, caring, like 16-year-old, but her wisdom was like through the roof.
Yeah.
Like so calm, and like even in her cancer journey, like I don't know, she's like the strongest person I met, honestly. the way she like handled everything, and how like she was strong till the end, you know, like it didn't stop her from doing her like joys in life.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to say, but yeah.
Yeah. She passed when she was 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did she have the same thing that Jackie had?
No, she had a blood cancer.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And she was supposed to get bone marrow from her brother. They got the percentage down, and their body wasn't like recovered enough, and she had a few weeks off, and they came back, and like with cancer, it's like a wildfire. It just went back up, and
yeah,
they couldn't contain it basically. Yeah. We Becca talks to Shannon every so often, and then I'll reach out to Brad whenever I feel like he needs it, like once a month.
Sure.
Yeah, because like, you know, like men are men, end of the day, and everybody's a different path on their whole emotional journey as well.
Sometimes it takes somebody reaching out instead of having to reach out.
Yep.
Because there is that's one of the reasons I started this whole thing, man. But there is a stigma around dads reaching out for help.
Yeah, I was part of that before.
Yeah. And it's it's an interesting thing, because we know we need to, but we're so proud or vain, or
it's like a wall there.
We can do it on our own. We got this. You know what I mean? But like, you have no idea how much a community of people can help one person.
Yes.
And to your point, like to what you were saying, is like you had no idea that the community would rally and fight and pray and support and provide resources the way that they did for you guys when that happened to your son.
Yeah, that was like that. Honestly, like that was like so huge in our whole journey, because like it helped us like not worry about like the bills and stuff building up, because we don't have to worry about that.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure there was some financial support.
Yeah, 100%, and like it made us be more attentive to Jack. Like all of our good friends stepped up big time with our kids, like where they would watch him, take him to school, like, you know, be their parent basically. So we were like forever thankful for that as well. And then also like early on, like for myself, for opening up to like believing there's a God and all that, like Brad, Tatum's dad, is one who like kind of, you know, we exchanged numbers in the beginning, and like one night he called me and we talked for like 2 hours, and he goes to church a lot, and he kind of just shared his whole story on that. And it kind of made me like take my wall down to like, hey, maybe I need to do this on my end, on my religion, and figure out what it can do for me. Cause like he was so freaking strong, you know, and like I wasn't strong at all when Jackie was going through it in the beginning. I was I was like broken, you know, I was scared out of my mind. Like I couldn't sleep. Like every night I probably wouldn't sleep like 2 a.m. Becca and Jackie would fall asleep, and I'll go on the 12th floor and just do circles walking because that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mind just like races too much.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So at what point did you guys, Jackie's with us today. So at what point did you guys kind of like, when did he make a turn?
So he had 2.
And by the way, what was like the mortality rate on the type of cancer that he had?
It's like under 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good at all. There's like, I think they said like 1 million cases worldwide.
Yeah.
So, and like, unfortunately, like I said, it's like stage 4 right away. That's what makes it's like aggressive tumor. It's not a slow growing tumor.
It was terminal.
Yeah. That's what it was in the beginning, basically. And that's like why, like Becca kept telling doctors, like, Jackie's gonna be your biggest success story. You know, she said that like almost every day to them. And like I always tell people this, like, it was so good that I was so dumb to the cancer world. Because, like, I didn't care what they said. Like, whatever they said, I'm like, that's fine. Like, he'll get through that. We'll move on to the next thing. Like, he'll make it to the next thing, next thing. And then, hindsight now, like, what I know, it's like, holy crap, that was insane what he went through. But he did 2 rounds of chemo. He had the biopsy. They confirmed what it was. And then you have to do a bone marrow transplant and do high-intensity chemo, which I was like, oh, okay. So it's just like another chemo in my mind. But then yeah, that was like I thought chemo was like level 10 bad. That thing was like 100 because I didn't know what it actually was. But we met there's a lady named Brock, there's a lady named Jessica and her husband Brock. Their kid name is Axel.
Yeah.
Becca and her talk to this day, and we always like meet up at certain like cancer fundraisers now, and we're like good friends now. But her son was getting a transplant that morning to like get him out before he does the high intensity chemo. And like, we're like chit chatting and she's like, yeah, he needs 50,000 stem cells, you know? I was like, oh, okay. You know? And then like in my mind, I'm like, did they say like a big number for Jack? And like, I go ask him and they're like, yeah, he needs 22 million. And that's like when I knew like, that's when it kind of like hit me more like, holy crap, this is like scary. Like, I didn't know it was like
this is not only scary, this is nearly impossible.
Yeah, I thought everybody like gets the same number. I didn't know it was like different numbers for different cancers, but yeah, he needed 50,000, I believe it was, and then they're like, yeah, Jackie needs 22 million. I'm like, what the heck? So we did that evening, and that was a whole like traumatic journey itself because it's literally like a little mortar that runs, and he cannot move, so that's sedate him. So you sedate him for like 4 to 8 hours, I believe it was, like 6 to 8 hours. And then the worst thing was like the line, it's like a plastic tube. So, you know, that thing rattles, the machine does. So if it moves, it stops, and you got to readjust it. And at one point, there was like so many issues. They're like, well, we might have to leave him sedated all night. And we're like, what the heck? Like, what happens to like his body, mind, like if he's sedated that long, like, because we don't know anything about that. And they're like, oh, it's nothing, it's fine. But we both did not want that. Like, just didn't sit good with us. It was like scary, and like we just didn't know anything about it. But luckily enough, they went through like his like groin area. They got in there and they got what they needed. They needed 20, and he gave them almost 31 million. So it was like crazy, like that he kicked out like that much out of his body for them to preserve and save. And then we started the high intensity chemo a couple of weeks later. And let me back up a little bit, actually. Like, also, I forgot to mention, because it's like it blocked out of my freaking mind. But like when his hair started coming out, that was like one of the worst moments ever, because he had like a beautiful like mullet. He had like a little baby mullet.
Yeah.
And I love that thing. I used to mess it up because I try to line it up and he would move it, it'll be crooked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, your baby looks cute no matter what. But Becca's like, stop doing that. And I'm like, dude, it's long, and I don't know, like I like doing it. It was funny because we would both be like, he'd be like laughing mad at me, and I'd be laughing because I find it super funny because when he messes up, a little comedy. But yeah, when his hair started like natting from the chemo and it started falling out, that was like one of my hardest days there, because I hated that. And then like we had to shave his head, and he looked beautiful bald. like after the fact, after I got over the whole shock factor in the beginning. And crazy thing is, it's like he never once wore like hats before, like ever, and like it's like sad as hell too, because like his head started being cold, so he started wanting to wear hats, and like now he loves wearing hats because like it's like a weird thing that he doesn't even know he's doing anymore.
Yeah.
And like when his like now recently when his hair started like blossoming, growing like crazy, he's just like always touching his hair. He'll be laying in bed and just like twirling his hair. Like you can tell like he missed the crap out of his hair. He used to, like when he had no hair, he would like play with Becca's hair.
Yeah.
And he would always say hair. And like, but he didn't know like try and like tell us what he was trying to say. But I think he was trying to say like he wants hair too at the time.
Yeah.
But we met so like once you go to high intensity chemo, you have a secondary doctor because you go on the back end of the hospital where it's all isolated. And that's like at that time is like when I came home to be with the kids, because we weren't home for like good part of the first 3-4 months of the year, and I knew our kids needed like that structure and like somewhat of a normal life again, because they were having a hard time as well. And that's something also I was really bad at. I was so locked in with Jack. Like there's days I like didn't even think about calling them. When Becca, luckily enough, was like, she's the mom. That's the difference between mom and dads, I think. Like they always bring it all in together. But yeah, Becca kept calling him, and yeah, just like it was weird. Like I had no interest in it for like a good month because I was like so just with Jack, because like I was so scared of the alternative with him, and then also like I felt good about it overall because I knew like we had the right people in place to be there with them, and they brought me a lot of comfort on that. But yeah, that's something that I look at back now. Like I'm like, dang, I should have like called myself instead of Becca was calling. But it worked out for the best. Like now, obviously, but the high intensity chemo, we met with that doctor, and he's like, like he wants us to be upbeat, but then he also doesn't want us to be upbeat. And I was like, why is this, And then like he started like breaking down the numbers, and like that's like when I realized like, oh, that's why we needed this much, and that's why this is like a whole nother step. But basically, like there was a high chance that he didn't make it through like the second part of this chemo, because you got to do it 3 times over. You do it for 24 to 28 days, depending when your body recovers. 2 weeks off, then again, and then again. But each time your numbers have to be like your kidney, liver, heart, all this stuff has to hit a certain number for them to even continue. Otherwise, they can't, because it literally, like, this is a fact. Somebody 18 years or older would have died during this chemo. That's how strong this thing is. But him, like, it's so weird. Like, so when you're that young and little, that's like when your organs are the strongest in your body, which I never knew. But yeah, that's what kind of helped him get through that. And but that's when I decided to like step back and come home and be with my 2 kids. And Becca decided to be down there because like she was isolated with them in that room for 24 to 28 days.
Yeah.
She probably get like 1 hour where she gets away where he's like sleeping on a lot of pain meds and he's out. She'll go walk around or go get something to eat. But like that was hard for her. But that's like when I started like falling apart even more, because like I wasn't there at all, and that like bugged the crap out of me. Like I had no choice, but I just felt like the worst dad possible because I wasn't there for him. And then like it just got me in such a depression, and like I didn't know what depression even was at the time. I just knew I wasn't like happy.
Yeah.
But then like I started getting like panic attacks like all the time, and I never had a panic attack before. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, and they'd always hit, because like I think a lot of my like issues came with not sleeping as well, because I could not sleep at all when I wasn't there with them. So I'll be up to like 3-4 in the morning, and then get up at 7 to kids school, and then the whole day I'm like trying to FaceTime them, but then like I gotta make sure I'm calling at the right time when they're not doing something, like as far as treatment, or if he's napping, I don't want to like bug Becca because I know she had a hard night too. And then like as soon as his numbers like, so like the first 2 days, they would give him like 11 different injections of this chemo, different names for them, and then they'll give him the bone marrow transplant, and they put like a preservative in that bag, and that smell I'll never forget. Like it's such a like you'll gag like 1,000 times over the first time you walk into it until you get used to it. But like it pours out of his body, basically the smell of it going in his back, all the bone marrow going back in his body, and it's just like a weird, not pleasant smell. And
Oh,
it's like they put all these little sensies in the room to make it somewhat
bearable.
decent. Yeah, but you don't even smell that, dude. Like if he comes with you, he has like a 20-foot radius of that smell when he's around you, and like that whole process was like the worst thing that we went through with him. Besides his brain surgery, obviously that was a little bit before we started bone marrow. When he had let's go back to that. Actually, I missed that whole thing. But when he had his brain surgery, that was like we took a lot of like videos and pictures and made him say certain things to his like brother and sister, just like we did it just in case, but like it was like hard as hell to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You don't want to even think about that. But
you're choking me up, bro.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine. Because you're gonna want them to have those memories of him
forever.
But the act of having to perform those, or not perform, but like capture those moments just in case.
Yeah, it was an unspoken thing too. We never even talked about it. We both did it, and we knew why we did it, but we never like said those words out loud. So that was like the weird, crazy thing about it as well. But
maybe a little of that coping mechanism of childhood trauma that you had back in the day, that we're going to do this, and we're not going to talk about this.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be okay though.
Yep. And like, I don't know how we even did it, to be honest, because like we were so locked in with like our mindset of being like, we're there for him no matter what,
Yeah.
And like I said, nighttime we will release all that and like break down, and the next day we'll be ready. But when he had that surgery, it was like 8 hours long. Becca just like, she's like, just sit down. She's like trying to sit down. She was trying to relax as much as she could. And like me, I could not relax. I didn't eat nothing that whole day. I didn't sleep the day before. And I just walked that hall like for 8 hours straight. Dude, my shins and calves
were probably tender.
Dude, it was hurting so bad, but I could not stop. And then, like they come back, they bring him in. He's all wrapped up. He's got like 1,000 freaking things on him. Like scary as hell to see that. Like I was like, what the heck is this? And like the first thing they say, hey, like the first couple hours are crucial. We got to keep him under to make sure there's no brain bleeds. So a couple hours later, they did MRI again. Thankfully, like thank God, nothing showed of like any kind of bleed. They brought him back and they're like, hey, we're not out of the woods yet. Like the next 48 hours is crucial. He's got to be able to say words. He's got to be able to move. So like they said, like touching the brain, cutting it, like there's a high chance of like certain functions not working.
Yeah.
And
whole bunch of neurons that are connected up there that make things work in your body that could get damaged in the process. Yeah.
And they have like this little cart upstairs where you can put the kid in there and you just walk back and forth. And Jackie like loved going in that cart because he didn't want to be in the room all day. So whenever his numbers are up and we can go, we'll just walk those circles on the 9th floor and 11th floor in circles all the time with them. And the first thing he says after brain surgery, like we're like, oh my God, please like move your legs, arms, say words.
Yeah.
Like he's barely there. He's like, Dad, ride. And like we all like burst into like laughter and crying because he was there. He wanted to go on a ride on the cart because every time he did something hard, that's his like little escape. We put his iPad in there and we would just go in circles like for hours.
Yeah.
So he said that and like we were so freaking relieved. I got sick as hell. Like after that came out, like him being okay, all that like stress and tension and me not sleeping just let out. I had like a fever of like 103, had to go to the hospital, had to get an IV. I couldn't come back because like I couldn't get him sick. So for the whole week after surgery, I had to go to like Ronald McDonald house that they have out there. They like a home for families that are dealing with issues in their journey. But
what was that like? Were those okay or?
Oh yeah. Oh, they're like, dude, they're amazing. They have like, it's like a hotel, but except they have snacks, they have drinks, they have like dinner every night at a certain time for the families. Like it's such a like amazing thing that the Ronald McDonald Foundation does because it's a free place to stay where you don't have to worry about any kind of expenses.
Yep.
and it's a relief. We never even used it until I got sick. I was there for like 4 days till I got better, and then went back. The whole story of Jack is like insane because like literally like there's the word miracle, like whatever the next word is for him, that's what he is. Because like when you look at this picture of his brain, like this was his brain, and like these are his eye sockets. This thing was pushing up in his eye sockets. So also I forgot to mention that like he had a chance of going blind because it was pushing his eyes.
Yeah.
And then like if your brain's like usually like this, his brain was like this. It was pushing against this wall back here. The tumor was pushing it out. So like also I didn't really miss this, but like the whole time like we met like 20, 30 doctors. They kept asking us over and over the first couple months, like, well, how many seizures do you have? I'm like, none. And I'm like, why do they keep asking this? And it's like, that's so annoying in a way. Cause I'm like, was he supposed to have a seizure? Like, why was he supposed to have a seizure? And then like, we got to learn when the brain surgeon came in, like a couple weeks later, he's like, well, he should have been throwing up every day. He should have been passing out, having seizures all the time. Cause the pressure was insane. He's like, cause his tumor was 8.7 by 5 centimeters. So literally over half of his brain was the tumor. Which like to me like it makes no sense that like he's
and the only symptom he showed you was in his arm.
Yeah and the only other weird thing was like when we look at it back, like obviously now is like
that's a miracle, bro.
It is like and then some, honestly, because like how big this thing was, like yeah, his odds were not great.
So let me just like put everything in perspective, bro. You guys end up with your son gets diagnosed with terminal brain cancer at the age of 2.
Yep.
Obviously there's a lot of emotions that go into that. You guys decide to start a Facebook page, and the community rallies around you
like crazy
with prayer. He's got the mortality rate on this cancer is less than 10%. And you start to see changes in him once all of the prayer start coming.
Yeah, literally like that week.
And today you have a son that has terminal cancer that he had no symptoms from other than his elbow. That should have. Yeah. I'm not trying to like say this out loud, bro, but it should have killed him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%.
And he's in remission.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
Take me to the day where you found out that he was going to be okay. And is he going to be okay?
Yeah, he's basically his tumor's like,
because I know that's a scary thing. You can, that stuff can always come back, right?
Yeah,
like,
his tumor's like 9 by 5 basically, and now it's like 3.5 by like 2, so it's definitely shrunk. But basically after he got done with those 3 rounds of the transplants and high chemo, we were able to get put out to Mayo because there's like 2 hospitals in the world, or in the United States that have the radiation machine that he needed. It was obviously in Mayo, and then that's another cool crazy thing. Everybody's like, oh, Mayo's like above and beyond, and I'm like, well, Iowa City was above and beyond. I'm like, how better? Like, is there even a thing? Like, they're probably the same.
Yeah.
And you go up there, and then you're like, holy crap! Like, these people are like, they got it down to like every detail. But what makes Mayo amazing and great is everybody has a certain category, and that's all they do. So like radiation for him, it's all for certain kids' ages for certain cancers. So they're locked in. They know how to handle any situation. They make it so like at ease for like us and him. Whatever's like the easiest way for him to get his radiation done is that's what they do. Like the protocols are there, but they let you make it more comfortable for your child, which is amazing. But he had 30 rounds of radiation, and it's weird. Radiation was like so easy, but like the long-term effects are obviously like what we're worried about and scared now, because we won't know anything until he gets like older, where he can like speak better and like walk and do all that stuff. There might be some issues for him, but we just don't know what it might be. Could be minimal, could be a lot, but
you'll take it though.
Yeah, I was like,
he's breathing and talking to us, and I see him on walks in the neighborhood now, and he's like happy. It's awesome now that he gets to like flourish, and it's like
it's like I realized like I took life for granted.
Yeah,
every
I was
day.
gonna. That was my next question. You're kind of beating me there, but how has your perspective on parenting changed? Because the way you were raised and the emotional regulation stuff that you and I both admittedly struggled with, right? And I know for me that came out like towards my kids from time to time. I don't know if it did for you or not, but like how has your parenting changed? Are you infinitely more grateful every day? I would assume.
Yeah. I have my good days and bad days still, to be honest. But that's why I'm like, that's like another thing. Like I said, my religion journey is like, I know that's gonna get rid of that and make me better 100%.
Yeah.
So that's why like I still have my blow up moments and I freaking hate them and I regret them every time. But they're less and less, to be honest, because like now with therapy, I kind of pause and think about like how they would feel, and then like I'll try my best to just handle it like in their shoes.
Yeah.
Because like like work, life, you kind of like
all the pressure,
overdo it. Yeah. But I'll back up a little bit to like September is when we got our first MRI post radiation, and like our doctor at our city, Dr. Groves, he's like it's showing like no growth, it's stable. Unfortunately, like his tumor is on his brainstem, so they can't take it out.
Yep.
But as long as it stays dead, and stays shrinking and stays there like it is right now, he's gonna be okay. He'll just have to get. He gets MRIs every 3 months for like basically the next 5 years, and then once a year going forward the rest of his life. But when he told us that day, like he's cancer free, he's in remission, we had like no reaction at all.
Huh?
Yeah, we were just like, and like literally like maybe a few weeks later, like the emotions came in, like that he did it, because like we never thought we would hear those words, and like it was weird, like it was like a foreign language to us when he said that.
Like, it's got to be like walking out of a war once it's finished.
Yeah, like we were in shock.
I'm just supposed to go back to normal living now.
Right, we were 100% in shock. That's what it was.
Prayers answered.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like every day with him, like being around now, like I can't stop but like smile. But that's also like the weird thing. Like we give him so much more attention to the other two kids. Like we both know that.
Yeah.
And like recently, like Luca's like, "Oh, you're just gonna do that because you love Jack more." And I'm like, "Dude, like that freaking hurt," because I didn't want to hear that. And I know it was a good thing he said it, because like now I'm spending like I do like 5-10 minute thing with them every night before bed and just hang out with them. And like like the cool thing about kids, you can go in their room and not say a word and they'll start just flooding. They'll open up, and like this is like something I've been doing, and it's bringing us back to like them feeling that love, because I don't want them ever to think I don't love them.
Yeah.
But it's definitely been a struggle, like to this day still. Like we're still adjusting. Like we love our kids to death. But yeah, Jackie gets treated a little bit special because like my other two kids don't realize like what he is, like he's a miracle to be alive today,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's weird. Yesterday, like we went on a walk and a bus came by, and he loves buses, and the lady like honked and he like lit up, and I freaking cried.
Yeah.
Cause like it's just like right there, like dude, that little of a thing, seeing a bus made him that happy. And like we take so many things for like granted. We always want like the most expensive this and that. That stuff is pointless, dude. Like what value does that bring you? Nothing. The happiness goes away after a couple of weeks. Like that happiness of his face there, for me, that's gonna be a memory of my life forever. Like him, that pure love, happiness to be alive. And he doesn't even know it. Like that's the crazy part. He doesn't know what he went through, what he is, like any of that. So like his journey, like down the road, I know he's gonna be an impact for a lot of people that are gonna go through cancer journeys. Unfortunately,
he's an inspiration story, man. But,
he is, dude.
But I think the other thing that I want to really point out for you here is that so are you.
Mm-hmm.
And you said in the beginning that I don't know where I'm at, with my journey, my relationship with God and all that other stuff, but it's growing, bro. And and he's working in you, and he did a miracle for you.
He did.
You know what I mean? And the way that that you're still standing here, some men wouldn't be. Esmir. Some people couldn't handle the what you went through, the experience that you went through.
It's that's why, like, I know God is real through my son's journey, because even like before he had like surgeries, before he had chemo, there was always like a weird sign, like a bird, a certain way the sun went down, like always these weird signs that me and Becca both picked up without even like pointing it out. We just said, "Oh, that's God," and we felt that the whole journey. And then, like 100%, I know Tatum is watching over Jack and all the other kids.
Yeah,
like I feel that. I feel it around, dude. Like I love Tatum forever, and I wish I could have like one more conversation with her, because to me, I feel like she didn't know like how amazing and special she was, because she never wanted to like take the credit. But yeah, she's the best. And yeah, like also like me going through my journey as a little kid, and not having like the most easiest way to grow up, I guess.
Yeah.
I think like in a way, like it's like God was preparing me for a hard time, because like that's the only thing I can think of me not like breaking apart. So yeah,
there's dude, I believe that 100%. I feel like God shapes us our entire life for like the biggest battles. You know what I mean? The things that we learn in the trenches, the things that we learn in the mud, if you will, when we feel cold, wet, alone, lost, abandoned, even. When we're going through those things, that can be the fire and the hammer that is shaping us into what we will be someday, what we'll be in the end. So we're ready and battle tested for the things that we have to go through. And I think that God did something for you.
100%.
And I think he's been working in your life for a really long time, bro.
Yeah, that's what so like, how do I explain this? Like, it's like where I'm at now in life, I never thought I would be becoming this person, I guess. But like, I'm so excited for my future. That's why I told you, like, I want to, if I do this podcast now, because like doing this podcast for me, like I would have never done this ever, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like my job to first like tell people God is real. And then to
come on.
Like I want everybody to know in like the whole Cedar Valley, and then there's other people around the world that like helped us and donated money to us and prayer for us. Like thank you. Like the reason we made it is because of everybody in town and people overseas, like my family overseas that prayed and donated money for us in the beginning. I just like I'm like so grateful for that, and I never thought like that would be me in a million years. So like don't take like nothing for granted in life, because you never know like when it is your last day, could be any day. And you never know what like life is going to bring at you, because like I would have never like guessed or predicted like something crazy like this happening to us.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's weird. Like I feel like it's horrible that he went through that, but I'm so excited for his future now, and like it's like it made me a better person, because like I took away all the crap I'm hanging on to. I'm starting to get rid of that. Ben Schwartz was on here.
Yeah, shout out Ben.
Yeah, I talked to Ben.
Love Ben Schwartz.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's so like in tune with God, like Jesus for him.
Yeah,
it's Allah for me. But like just like his advice is really really good. And he told me some good things that I'm trying to get to actually do, because that's how I know I'm gonna be able to move forward in my life and accept forgiveness, and also to have a relationship with certain people and move forward in life. And like I'm so excited about life now. Like I feel like I was drifting away and like, oh, go to work, come home, eat, shower, sleep, and like now like life has purpose to me. Like I get excited for work. I always had like I'm always like outgoing person with energy and stuff, but like now it's like maybe this is why I'm this way, because like I'm supposed to be this way for a certain reason, and like it's all coming like full picture for me slowly. So I'm definitely excited for life now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that, man. I love that. That's good. That's good. It's what God was. Somebody once told me, you're either connected or you're drifting.
Yeah.
And he's talking about the Holy Spirit, right? Like you're either connected to the Holy Spirit or you're drifting away from it.
Right.
And once you're connected, you can feel it moving in your life. You can feel it working in your life, and you can see what it's doing. But sometimes we can fall down and start drifting again. You know what I mean? And
it's not, like what I'm realizing, it's not this. It's like up and down, up and down. But you gotta, like what I'm doing is I'm sticking to it, and I'm doing things that are uncomfortable. That's like I said, a few of my good friends that have that mindset, like they helped me big time in the beginning, because like I was falling apart, and I'll call them and they would not accept that. They're like, it's gonna be fine, dude. Like whatever they say, whatever the odds are, who cares? You be there, you be happy, you show good energy, like do your part as a dad. And I'm like, I am doing that, but they're like, yeah, just don't think about any of that. And honestly, like I said, those two guys in particular, like my cousin Edis and then Amir, everybody calls him Bato, like they have that mindset, and that's what freaking got me to like make it through, honestly. Yeah, and then like all of our good friends, like I said, stepped up and watched our kids, did all the mom dad stuff while we were gone. Like, huge thank you for them. Yeah, for being there, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
well, the agreement was if we did this now, that you're going to have to be able to come back again at some point and reflect on all the changes that have happened 100%. In your life. So we'll be looking forward to that episode. Yeah. Hey, before we go though, what's your favorite memory being a father?
My favorite thing about being a father, honestly, is the ages between like 1 and 3.
Yeah.
Because like it's so pure, and like their reaction for anything and everything is like genuine, and they get such a amazing smile, feel, and like you are in that moment with them. So it's like you're not a kid again, but you can like think in your head like that's what it's like. Because like the sad part is when we get older, like like when you were like younger, you can sit in your room for like 5 hours, stare at the wall, and you're in the universe, in space, like imagining all this. Now you can't do that, unfortunately. But like that's what I love about like kids being kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And God forbid anybody has to go through what you went through with their kids, but if you could give some advice to a dad that's about to go through a terrible situation like the one that you did, what advice would you give them?
Honestly, find a person that, like now I would say, a person that has God in their life, and you don't have to be there at all with God yet, but let them like talk, because there's going to be certain points and things that stick out. They're going to help you right away. And like the biggest thing is like, just like do your best to be there for the situation itself. And then, like I said, like, I feel like I was lucky. I was so dumb to the cancer world.
Yeah.
Cause like, I didn't know nothing about anything. So like right there, my mindset was so like, we're going to get through this no matter what. So I feel like anybody going through cancer, like prayers to you, obviously. And I pray that you guys all make it through. It's very frustrating to see what's going on in the world currently with funding.
Yeah.
Getting cut. That's pretty crappy, considering everybody preaches the kids are the future.
Yeah.
It's like, are they the future, But that's political stuff. Anyway, I would just say try to get a relationship with somebody that has God in their life, because it's gonna help you stay like somewhat like out of the water, not drowning right away.
Yeah,
because that's what I had, and I got that from a few people, and yeah, at the time I didn't know that was like the thing that was keeping me afloat, but it was like all these things like now are like starting to click and come together, and like I can, so this is why, So yeah.
Yeah. So when I was a little boy, my dad would always tell me like bedtime stories about Super Dad and Super Nick, like going and like fighting like the bad guys and stuff like that. And Esmir, you're a super dad, and your son is super as well. Thank you. What you guys have gone through, and the enemies that you have defeated, and the fights that you've had to battle and have eventually won, are just so inspiring to me not only as a father, but like just as a man. And I admire you, dude.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
dude, thanks for sharing with us.
And also one thing I didn't say yet, like my marriage, it's like we're so more connected than we ever were before. Like before we had a good marriage. We never had like a bad marriage where we had like any like money or trust issues. Like we just had like, like you get comfortable, you have like little things that get at you and then eventually you just argue about it for no reason.
Oh yeah.
We had that. And like now, like the love I have for my wife, I never thought I could get more of it. It's like a whole different level. And like I can never like thank her enough or repay her for how she stepped up being there for Jack, like through the 3 rounds of high chemo, the radiation, like, cause I know it was so much harder for her as a mom not to be with the other 2 kids at home. Like I know that bugs her and still bugs her, but like it's, we did the best that we could at the situation at the time. And like, she held it all together for all of us. Cause like she talked to the doctors at the hospital, cause I couldn't I couldn't say the word cancer or tumor the first like 3-4 months without like losing my mind, like crying my butt off. Yeah. Like now I can say cancer and tumor. Like I started being able to say it once he started like showing good signs. But yeah, at the beginning I could not like talk to the doctors at all. And she stepped up and knocked it out of the park on that part. So yeah, she's a strong mom.
Yeah. People say all the time, behind every strong man is an even stronger woman. Mm-hmm. And I get so frustrated with that because really what it is that with every strong man is an even stronger woman.
Yeah, it is.
It's with. It's not behind. It's with.
Yep.
So team. Yeah. Your wife is incredible as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's. I don't know. I'm just so. It's weird. Like I'm literally excited for the future. I don't remember ever feeling or having like that excitement about life, but like I'm excited to see Jack grow. I'm excited to see Emilio and Luca grow with them. Like now, like we'll do walks. We'll do like unplanned like day trips, like stuff like like before Jackie got sick, like we would come home for the weekend. I would just want to sit and watch sports. I don't want to go do nothing. But I could go walk with the kids. I was like, I'll just do that like some other time, Yeah. And like now, whatever. Like I'll even like the weird thing is I never brought up the ideas to go do certain things. Now I'm like, hey, let's go do this. Let's go do that. And it's like I didn't realize like sports are sports. They're awesome to watch on Sundays. Football, like cool. But like if your family wants to go do something, that should be first.
Yeah,
so like,
absolutely.
That's, like family, like stuff to do with my family now is number one. Like I don't care about like even like Christmas, like and birthdays. Like we started to do more trips instead of buying gifts, because you buy a kid a gift in 5-10 minutes, they're like, oh, can I get another toy? But you go somewhere and make that memory with them, they're going to talk about it forever.
Memories are so important.
They are, dude. Because then like when they grow up, it's like a blueprint to their life, how to become a dad, a brother, a sister.
My wife and I talk about it all the time. She's like, hey, I really want to do this trip. And I'm like, but we could do this and this and this, and she's like, yeah, but remember, this is what they're going to remember. Right. I'm like, sold instantly. I'm just like, yeah, you're right. No, I don't know why I even fought that idea of not doing this. This should have been like the first thing that we decided to spend our money on.
We never just do that right away. It's like always like a weird hiccup.
Yeah.
But like when that's the weird thing about women. They have like they have more of a
supernatural intuition, dude.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like they understand it. Like I'm learning to understand it more and more. But they're already there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the beautiful.
We're just trying to catch up.
Yeah,
though.
We are.
Yeah. We were fortunate men to be able to get married to women that we love. Yep. And we're just trying to catch up and be on the same level.
100%. Yeah.
So, yeah, right on. Anything else you want to leave us with, man?
Yeah, I just want to say, like I said, like, thank you to everyone, because like we wouldn't be here or we wouldn't have made it without everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, like never give up in the journey, honestly. There's always hope. The one thing that's exciting, like science, they're starting to discover more and more things that they can do to certain cancers. So that's like something that brings me somewhat comfort and joy to hear. I hope one day that cancer is cured for everybody, because I don't think anybody should die that way or go through that at all. So yeah, God is good and God is great.
There we go. Amen. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Esmir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
If you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode. And for that, I want to thank you with all my heart. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It really helps us out. If you have questions about getting sober, parenting, or personal growth, email Nick at domesticdadproject.com with any questions about cleaning up the messes you've made. And if your question is discussion worthy, we'll feature it in an upcoming episode. Don't forget, you can watch any of these videos uncut and unedited, filmed in my studio from our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for Domestic Dad Project. Also, please follow us on Facebook or share this episode on your social media. You can also join our community by grabbing some merch. It means the world to me to know that this podcast is making a difference in someone's life. And if this episode inspired you to get sober or simply become a better version of yourself, you can claim your free 60-minute coaching session by visiting www.domesticdadproject.com. Let's continue supporting each other to break the stigma around dads reaching out for help to get our lives on track while navigating the obstacles of fatherhood. Until next time, keep cleaning up the mess.